Hello, hello. Welcome back to Math Made Possible. I believe I can. I am your current teacher, Miss Howard, and today we're going to be using the Illustrative Math Grade 5, Unit 3, Lesson 7, and this is going to be a summary for that lesson. Today we're going to be using what we've learned to multiply any fraction. All right, let's begin here. And for this lesson, I'm going to actually slow down for the very first one because I want to make it clear that I understand that some students are not familiar with their math facts. So I just wanted to show you two ways to um, to solve your problems. Okay. All right. So as you can see here, we have 3 times 2. There's two ways you could look at that. First way, we should understand that 3 times 2 is basically 3 groups of 2. So I could draw an image in my notebook to represent that problem. And I could draw circles, I could draw squares, I could draw anything that will be quick because we don't want to spend too much time drawing. All right. So again, 3 times 2 is basically saying 3 groups of 2. So we count these out. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to put, that's going to represent my numerator. Okay. In the previous lesson, that represented the amount shaded. Now let's see what our total parts would be, or the amount that we are partitioning into. And as you can see, this is a big number. That's 8 times 5. So we can go ahead and skip count. Well, what I want you to do is think about, well, what math facts are easier for you to understand. You should know your ones, your twos, your fives, your tens. Those should be pretty easy. And threes and sixes are doubles of 3, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Your teacher will. All right. So let's go ahead and list out. We're going to count by 5 for 8 times 5. We're going to count by 5. So 5 will be our first one. And since we're going to count by 5, we're going to make eight groups of 5, or count by 5 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, you could do this in the privacy of your journal. No one has to know that you're working out your product. Okay, so we count by 5. We count 5, 10. Another strategy that you can use is, if you don't know how to count by 10, count by 5, all it is repeated addition. So we start with a 5 in our mind, then we add another 5, that equals 10. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to add another 5, or skip count, and that would be 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. Now, I want you to always remember to go back and double check that you have the correct amount. Again, we are counting by 5s, which means we should have our other denominator as our lines. We count that out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we know that that's correct. So that's going to be 40. Another thing that I want you to do is do repeated addition, just to double check that you did. If you're doing a skip counting strategy, do repeated addition just so to make sure that you are writing the correct multiple down. Okay. All right. Next one. 3 times 9. Now I'm just going to go ahead and finish these problems. Again, what I want you to do at the end of this video, or you could pause before I solve it, use one of these strategies. Use repeated addition, draw groups of a certain amount, or skip count. list, or also known as listing your multiples. All right. Well, if we were to list out our multiples, we would know that 3 times 9 equals 27. And we know that 4 times 5, well, that equals 20. And for these problems, I'm not going to simplify them into mixed numbers. I am just going to leave them as an improper fraction. That's absolutely fine. 10 times 6, that equals 60. Again, tens is another good one that you should know. You could also use your fingers and count by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And you should be able to get your answer. But the quickest thing or the best thing that I would like you to do, instead of using mental math, especially if multiplication is not your strong point, write it out, please. Okay, now this one is a little bit different. As you can see with A, B, and C, those all had the length and the width right next to each other. For D, that's missing an actual side length. So we have 8/9 as one of our side lengths. Now we have to figure out, well, what do I multiply times 8 in order to get 56? And let me change my color here. Hold on. Okay, so another thing you could think about is, since I don't have an answer here, I could absolutely do the opposite of that, which would be division. And I would write 56 inside the house. And I know that 8 divided by 56, or excuse me, 56 divided by 8, the answer would be 7. And I know that 8 times 7 equals 56. Again, what you could do is you could skip count, start with 8, right? And you would skip count all the way 2, 3 until you got up to the number 56. And you just count up the lines. Okay? Hopefully that helped. Now we still have to do our denominator. 9 times what will give you an answer of 36? Well, again, we would start with 9. And we would end with 36. And we would just keep on going. Right? And keep on trying to figure out how much that would be. Well, we know that 9 times 4, that equals 9 times 4 equals 36. Now take a look at this last one. We have a 5 as a whole number right here, but our final answer is a fraction. So how do we convert 5 into a fraction? Well, we know we put a 1 underneath it, right? Now I ask the same question. What do I multiply times 5 to get 15? And I know that would be 3. Ooh, let's make that neater. No, let's erase. Okay, that would be 3. And I ask myself the same question. What can I multiply times 1? That will give me a denominator of 8. And I know that would be 8. Okay, so now we have solved for our numerators and our denominators. And we've even figured out the missing problem right here. All right, hopefully that helped. Hopefully by drawing out your models, or even skip counting, or even doing the repeated addition, that should help you to know how to multiply more accurately. And I do hope this video helped you. If you have not done so already, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you could know when I post new videos. All right, take care, and I will see you in our next video.